Welcome, dear students. Today we will understand about the concept of human values, its types, origin and emergence of human values. As we know, the origin of human values can be considered from various sources, and also these values emerge out of from different human engaged in their respective thought processes, but values which are considered as constructive in nature have always come out from a pure, peaceful, and calm mind, which again cultivated through various methods. The major four methods, which are believed as ancient and traditional methods of mind cultivation and purification, are as follows. Jnana Yoga, that is known as path of knowledge. Raj Yoga, that is path of mind control. Shakti Yoga, that is related to path of devotion. Karma Yoga, that is path of action. Now, we must understand the concept of transcultural human values. The transcultural human values can be defined as the values that are similar in practice among different cultures throughout the whole world. These can be categorized as universal values which are followed in the similar manner across the globe and therefore considered as universal in nature. The important point here needs to be mentioned is that these values are very helpful for the management. Some of the transcultural values are fruitful for efficient management. These are as follows: unbiasedness, loyalty toward workers, cooperation, transparency, objectivity, discipline, inspiration, social responsibility, managing interpersonal conflict. Transcultural human values, developing values among individuals are very essential for managers in the organization. Taking this into consideration, it is very essential for an organization top managers to work rigorously for development of transcultural values in management can be reflected in the following points. First one is credibility among stakeholders, promoting basic human values, facilitate decision making, earn profit, objectivity, self discipline, developing credibility among employees. Now we come to the part type of values. So there are different type of values. We can simply call values as a prescriptive belief. In other words, if there is any activity, conduct, behavior, attitude, thinking, etc., which is worth of being followed, then it must be engraved in human behavior, lifestyle, and personality for the larger benefit of the society. Thus, value can be defined as a belief onto which an individual opt as well as act by its own preference. The word value itself means giving due importance to a thing, object, or a concept. As far as human beings are concerned, each and every individual holds different sort of values. They are differ from each other. Thus, the origin and emergence of human values can be solely contributed to the presence of peaceful and well cultivated human mind. We can simply call values as prescriptive belief. Now, the types of values. First one is individual values. As the name itself signifies, individual values are such which is directly concerned to the development of human personality. It targets individual norms of recognition and protection of the human personality, such as honesty, loyalty, and honor. Second is collective values. Collective values are those which are concerned with the society at a large. Values connected with the norms of equality, justice, solidarity, sociability are known as collective values. Now we come to the part intrinsic values. These can be called as fundamental values to life and are directly related with the core goal of life in hierarchy of human values. These values stand at the highest place and are superior to all other values of the life. These values help to determine the intensity of human rights and duties. Now we come to instrumental values are those values which facilitate to achieve an individual's intrinsic values can be classified as instrumental values. These are preferable modes of behavior that helps to achieve someone's terminal value. Terminal values, the end goals that an individual desires to achieve in his life, are known as terminal values. They are said to be desirable end state of existence. These include like happiness, self-respect, social security, harmony, personal excellence, etc. Values are can be classified as dominant values. The values which are on priority in one's own agenda can be identified as dominant values. Now we come to the personal values. Values which are deeply connected with a person is known as personal values. Personal values are considered an essential principle as an essential principle on which we build our life and relate with other people. Family values. One can simply say family as a social institution which is based on certain universally defined value system. These values are nurtured and cultivated within a family system. Mainly these values comes from the lead of the family, mostly father, who transfer these values to their children, who further impart these values to future generation. Socio-cultural values. The very foundation of our society is based upon some sort of socio-cultural values, and hence it survives on these accepted values only. These can also be categorized as prevailing values in our society, which often change with time or on the way coincide or not with our family or personal value. For example, if work is not valued socially as a means of personal fulfillment, then this society is indirectly fostering anti values like dishonesty, irresponsibility, and crime. Thus, society collectively represents a complex mixture of several values, and sometimes it contradicts with one another. Material values calls for need of human being regarding things required for human survival and existence. These values allow us to survive and are related to our basic subsistence needs as a human being, such as food, clothing, protection from environment. These can also be categorized as fundamental needs, part of complex web that is created between personal, family, and socio-cultural values. Spiritual values. Spiritual values are connected purely to the non material aspects in our lives. That is, these are concerned with spiritual hunger and growth. They are part of inner human needs and also allow us to observe minimum level of value system expected in our society. Moral values. These values constitute attitude and behavior that a society consider essential for coexistence, order, general well-being. These values helps us to observe minimum level of value system expected in our society. Theoretical values. This kind of value typically focuses on adopting a critical and rational approach to any problem. These are related to basic system of truth and rational conduct of individual. Aesthetic values. Softer values of goodness are termed as aesthetic values, and all of these comes from grace, pause, harmony, emphasize the artistic aspects of one's life. Economic values. Basic foundational ethical conducts in field of economics or commerce are called economic values. These are utility and practicality which emphasize more on standard of living. Social values. Values which are generated as well as minimally expected by the society are classified as social values. These basically include acceptability, cooperation, and love for human being. Human values. Values are basically targets and promotes human growth and development are known as human values. Simplicity, forgiveness, charity, transparency, humbleness, gratitude, etc. Disvalue. Values which demoralized and undermine the human growth and development can be termed as disvalue. This includes jealousy, envy, selfishness, anger, revenge, etc. Now we conclude our lecture in summary part. The origin of human values can be considered from various sources. These also these values emerge out from different human engaged in their respective thought processes, but values which are considered as constructive in nature have always come out from a pure, peaceful and calm mind, which is again cultivated through various methods. Moving by step from one stage to another, it is better understood that human values are shaped and enhanced by going through these four stages. From path of knowledge to mind of control, then mind of control to devotion, then devotion to action, values are resultant, residual of each phase. Therefore, these entire paths facilitates human being to develop a pure mind. Transcultural values can be defined as values that are similar in practice among different cultures throughout the whole world. These can be categorized as universal values, which are followed in similar manner across the globe and therefore considered as universal in nature. The important point here needs to be mentioned is that these values are very helpful for the management. With this, I would like to thank all of you for listening the lecture. Happy learning.